The world is changing. For decades, the global economy has operated under a certain set of rules. Western institutions like the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund have held significant sway. The US dollar has reigned supreme as the world's reserve currency. But this old order is being challenged. A new group of players has emerged on the world stage, eager to reshape the global economic landscape. This group is known as BRICS, representing Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Africa finds itself at a pivotal juncture. The continent stands as a witness to a global power shift, a tectonic realignment of economic influence. For African nations, this presents a unique opportunity to redefine their place in the world, to break free from the constraints of the past and chart a new course toward prosperity. The influx of BRICS investment and engagement offers the potential for transformative change. Imagine roads and railways crisscrossing the continent, connecting bustling cities and unlocking the potential of remote regions. Envision state-of-the-art ports facilitating trade and commerce, turning Africa into a global hub for innovation and entrepreneurship. This is the promise that BRICS holds for Africa, a future where the continent's vast resources are harnessed to fuel sustainable growth and development. But this vision is not without its challenges. African nations must navigate this new landscape carefully, ensuring that their partnerships with BRICS are mutually beneficial and do not simply replace one form of dependence with another. The stakes are high, but so too is the potential reward. Africa has the opportunity to seize this moment, to leverage its resources and partnerships to shape its own economic destiny. The world is watching as Africa decides its next move, a move that could have far-reaching consequences for generations to come. The story of BRICS begins not in the halls of power, but in the realm of ideas. In the early 2000s, a new narrative began to take shape. Economists recognized Brazil, Russia, India, and China as engines of growth. The term BRIC was coined in 2001 by Jim O'Neill of Goldman Sachs. O'Neill argued these nations could reshape the global economy. What began as an investment thesis became a geopolitical reality. The first BRIC summit took place in 2006 at the G8 summit. These meetings laid the foundation for closer cooperation. BRICS was formally established in 2009 in Yekaterinburg, Russia. South Africa joined in 2010, solidifying BRICS' global position. To understand the significance of BRICS, one need only look at the numbers. Collectively, these 5 nations account for a staggering portion of the world's population, resources, and economic output. With over 3 billion people, BRICS represents more than 40% of humanity, a vast pool of human capital with the potential to drive global growth for decades to come. The economic might of BRICS is undeniable. Combined, their economies account for nearly 30% of global GDP, a figure that has steadily risen over the past 2 decades and is projected to continue its upward trajectory. This growth has been fueled by a combination of factors including rapid industrialization, technological advancement, and a burgeoning middle class with increasing purchasing power. Beyond GDP, BRICS nations wield significant influence over global commodity markets. Russia, a leading energy exporter, plays a pivotal role in global oil and natural gas supplies. Brazil is an agricultural powerhouse, a major exporter of soybeans, coffee, and sugar. South Africa is a mining giant, rich in gold, platinum, and other minerals. This control over vital resources gives BRICS nations considerable leverage in international trade and finance. They are no longer simply price takers in the global marketplace, but active shapers of the rules of the game. Expanding horizons, BRICS looks beyond its borders. BRICS envisions a multipolar world aiming for a balanced global power structure. They strengthen internal cooperation and expand influence globally. Initiatives include the new Development Bank and Contingent Reserve Arrangement. BRICS engages with other developing countries and regional blocs. Outreach summits invite leaders to discuss common concerns. BRICS's growing appeal attracts potential new members from diverse regions. The enigma of fiat currency trust and transactions. At the heart of the global financial system lies a curious paradox, a system built upon trust, yet one that often operates in uncertainty. Fiat currency, the lifeblood of modern economies, is not backed by any physical commodity. Its value stems from a government decree mandating its acceptance for transactions. This reliance on trust is both the strength and vulnerability of fiat currency. When trust erodes, so does the stability of fiat currency. Hyperinflation is a stark reminder of the consequences when faith in a currency falters. The dollar's reign, a legacy of power and dependence. The US dollar stands as a colossus influencing the global financial system. For decades, it has been the world's primary reserve currency. Its dominance began post-World War II. The US emerged as an economic power with vast gold reserves. The 1944 Bretton Woods Conference cemented the dollar's role. This decision had far-reaching consequences. Countries held reserves in US dollars for trade and investment. The dollar became the currency for commodities like oil. Despite the collapse of Bretton Woods, the dollar's dominance endures. However, this reliance fosters dependence, especially among developing nations. Section 3. Cracks in the foundation, the gathering momentum of de-dollarization. The global financial landscape is rarely static. The dollar's dominance is facing growing challenges. Emerging economies, US debt and geopolitical tensions fuel de-dollarization. De-dollarization shifts away from the dollar in trade and finance. Countries diversify reserves, reducing reliance on a single currency. BRICS nations lead this trend. They promote their own currencies and reduce vulnerability to US policies. Efforts include bilateral trade in local currencies, alternative payment systems, and a potential BRICS common currency. De-dollarization could reshape global power and finance. The trend towards currency diversification is gathering momentum. BRICS's multifaceted de-dollarization strategy. BRICS nations aim to reduce dependence on the US dollar, promoting alternative currencies. This strategy reflects the complexities of the global financial system. It's about creating options and shifting the balance of power. De-dollarization asserts sovereignty and challenges US dollar hegemony. Section 2. Bilateral trade in local currencies. Sidestepping the greenback. One of the most visible manifestations of BRICS's de-dollarization strategy is the increasing use of local currencies for bilateral trade. Instead of relying on the US dollar as an intermediary, BRICS nations are increasingly settling transactions in their own currencies, a move that brings with it several advantages. This shift towards local currency trading reduces transaction costs for businesses. Exchanging one currency for another, especially when the US dollar is involved, often comes with hefty fees and commissions charged by banks and financial institutions. By using their own currencies, BRICS nations can streamline trade, making it faster, cheaper, and more efficient. Beyond economics, local currency trading also carries important symbolic value. It represents a rejection of the dollar's dominance, a statement that BRICS nations are no longer content to play by the rules of a system they had no hand in creating. It's an assertion of their economic sovereignty, a signal that they are determined to chart their own course in the global marketplace. The impact of this shift is already being felt. China, with its economic might and its ambition to internationalize the yuan, has been particularly proactive in promoting local currency trading. Agreements with Russia, Brazil, and other countries have paved the way for a significant increase in non-dollar transactions, setting the stage for a potential paradigm shift in global trade finance. Bypassing SWIFT, creating a parallel financial universe. The SWIFT, or Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, network is the nervous system of the global financial system. It's a messaging system that connects banks and financial institutions around the world, facilitating the seamless flow of trillions of dollars in cross-border transactions. However, the dependence on SWIFT has also raised concerns, particularly among BRICS nations who view it as a potential vulnerability. The United States' ability to exert pressure through SWIFT, including imposing sanctions and blocking transactions, has not gone unnoticed by BRICS nations. In recent years, they have taken concrete steps to develop alternative payment systems, creating a parallel financial universe that operates independently of SWIFT. Russia, facing increasing sanctions from the West, has been at the forefront of this effort, developing its own system known as SPFS, or System for Transfer of Financial Messages. China, with its CIPS, cross-border interbank payment system, has also made significant strides in creating an alternative to SWIFT, particularly for transactions involving the yuan. These alternative systems, while still in their early stages of development, represent a direct challenge to the dominance of SWIFT. They offer BRICS nations a degree of autonomy and protection from potential financial warfare, reducing their reliance on a system perceived as susceptible to political manipulation. A BRICS common currency, a visionary goal, or a distant dream? Perhaps the most ambitious and controversial element of BRICS's de-dollarization strategy is the idea of creating a common currency. This idea, often floated in international forums and debated among economists, has captured the imagination of some while being met with skepticism by others. Proponents of a BRICS common currency argue that it would reduce reliance on the US dollar, foster greater economic stability within the bloc, and enhance their collective bargaining power on the world stage. They envision a currency backed by a basket of commodities such as gold or oil, providing a more stable and reliable alternative to fiat currencies. However, the path to a BRICS common currency is fraught with challenges. Creating a new currency requires a high level of economic integration, political coordination, and mutual trust among member nations, something that is not easily achievable, especially given the diverse economic structures and political systems within BRICS. Despite the obstacles, the idea of a BRICS common currency continues to generate discussion and debate. Whether it materializes in the near future or remains a distant aspiration, it reflects the broader ambition of BRICS nations to reshape the global financial order and create a system that is more equitable, multipolar, and reflective of the changing economic landscape. The African Renaissance, a continent ripe for transformation. Africa, often seen through a lens of poverty, is on the cusp of transformation. Beneath familiar narratives lies a continent brimming with untapped potential and resilience. The African Renaissance encapsulates optimism, poised to claim its place as a global powerhouse. Africa possesses vast resources and a young, vibrant population. Technological advancements are rapidly transforming the continent. Challenges remain, but the emergence of BRICS offers hope. BRICS nations view Africa as a partner, sharing common goals and aspirations. This shift in perspective could unlock Africa's economic potential. The BRICS nations are not newcomers to Africa. Historical ties, particularly between India and the countries of East Africa, date back centuries. However, the nature of their engagement has undergone a significant transformation in recent decades. This surge in BRICS investment is reshaping the African economic landscape. China, with its Belt and Road Initiative, has been at the forefront. Chinese companies are building the infrastructure that Africa needs. This investment has not been without controversy. India is also deepening its engagement with Africa. Indian companies are investing in manufacturing and IT training centers. This aligns with India's vision of mutual benefit and shared prosperity. Brazil, Russia, and South Africa are also contributing to Africa's development. Brazil shares its expertise in agriculture and renewable energy. Russia invests in oil, gas, and nuclear power projects. South Africa promotes investment and intra-African trade. The BRICS' engagement with Africa extends beyond infrastructure, investing in diverse sectors like mining, manufacturing, telecommunications, healthcare, and education. Chinese companies like Huawei and ZTE build telecom networks, while India fosters IT training and digital literacy. BRICS nations also improve healthcare, supply affordable medicines, and enhance education through cultural exchanges and vocational training. The relationship between BRICS and Africa is not a one-way street. African nations, with their growing economies and collective voice, are increasingly assertive in their dealings with BRICS, demanding equitable partnerships. This shift is evident in BRICS forums. African leaders are active participants voicing concerns and priorities. Their influence is growing within BRICS. The allure of the digital frontier. Virtual currencies take root in Africa. Africa, with its youthful demographics and rapid tech adoption, is a hotbed for digital currency innovation. From bustling megacities to remote villages, virtual currencies empower a new generation of digitally savvy Africans. Mobile money platforms have paved the way for digital currencies, offering autonomy and control over finances. Blockchain, a catalyst for transparency and transformation. Blockchain holds transformative potential for Africa. It records transactions securely and transparently, revolutionizing finance, governance, and supply chains. Blockchain offers accountability in corruption-prone areas. It tracks funds, prevents fraud, and ensures resource allocation, enhancing aid distribution and government services, streamlining bureaucracy and empowering citizens, securing land registration and digital identities, transforming supply chains and combating counterfeiting, ensuring product authenticity in agriculture. Navigating the crossroads. Balancing innovation with financial prudence, the rapid adoption of digital currencies and blockchain technology in Africa presents both opportunities and risks. Innovations promise financial inclusion and economic empowerment, but raise concerns about regulatory oversight and consumer protection. Striking a balance between innovation and financial stability is crucial. Clear regulations and financial literacy are key to unlocking the digital frontier's potential. BRICS and Africa, a partnership for prosperity. The emergence of BRICS as a global economic force has profound implications for Africa. For Africa, the rise of BRICS represents a potential turning point, a chance to break free from the constraints of the past and forge a new path toward prosperity. The BRICS nations, with their vast resources and growing economies, have the potential to be powerful allies in Africa's development. Their investments in infrastructure and other key sectors are laying the foundation for economic growth, creating jobs and improving lives. The success of the BRICS-Africa partnership hinges on translating their shared vision into tangible outcomes. Charting a course toward a shared future. Challenges and opportunities. The road ahead for BRICS and Africa is fraught with challenges, but also paved with opportunities. Geopolitical tensions, economic uncertainty, and climate change pose significant threats. Cooperation, innovation, and a shared commitment are essential. BRICS must maintain unity despite internal divisions and external pressures. Africa must strengthen institutions, promote good governance, and invest in its people. The BRICS-Africa partnership can reshape the global landscape for the better. It offers hope, cooperation, and solidarity in an uncertain world.